Hey everybody, it's Rosie, and in this video I'm making some spare ribs with a nice homemade barbecue sauce. Very simple and easy, so let's get right into that recipe. First and foremost, I already rinsed the meat under cool water, and now I am working on getting rid of that membrane. The membrane is that thick white film that you see there behind the ribs, and I'm just going to peel it off with my hands. It's very simple to do. So there you go. Get rid of that membrane, toss it in the trash because you do not need it for this recipe. Now to our next step, we will be seasoning the ribs. The ribs here are very flavorful as is, so we don't have to overdo it with the spices. I'm just going to use a nice seasoning salt, which is a combination of regular salt, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I am also going to sprinkle on some black pepper as well. So we're just going to keep it simple, and then you can massage that seasoning in with your hands as I am doing right there. Now I have a pan that I lined with aluminum foil. If you don't want to use aluminum foil, that is totally up to you. You don't have to, but it does help with the cleanup process when you're all done cooking. And I'm just going to place my ribs in there, line them up in that pan there. I'm using a regular glass bake dish. Once all of my spare ribs are in there, I'm going to get some more foil. If you have a top, you can just top it, but I'm going to use foil to cover this. My oven is on 375, and I'm going to let the ribs cook in there for several minutes. You can look down below for a link for more directions for this recipe. So while the ribs are baking in the oven, I'm going to make a barbecue sauce. So we started off with some ketchup there. Now I am going to pour in some molasses. For all of my beginner cooks, making barbecue is really simple. You don't have to always use the bottled stuff. If you have it, that's fine. But if you don't, it is not the end of the world. With these few steps, you will learn how to make your very own barbecue sauce. So again, so far we have ketchup and molasses in our mixing bowl, and I am just using my spatula there to mix those ingredients together. And I'm making enough sauce for the coating of the ribs, and also I'm making enough for dipping later on when I serve these. So the next thing I'm going to add will be red wine vinegar. I am using 2 tablespoons of that. We're going to mix that on in, or stir it on in with that spatula there. And now we're going to focus on our seasonings. Now the seasonings for the barbecue sauce that I like to make, I like to keep it really nice and simple. So I'm just going to add in some garlic salt, as you see right there. And I also have some barbecue seasoning, which is actually a barbecue rub, but I like using it for my barbecue sauce. This is a nice spicy seasoning or barbecue rub. If you want to add a little spice to your barbecue sauce, but you don't have a spicy rub, go ahead and add in a little bit of red pepper, and that should do the trick. Okay folks, so we are done with that barbecue sauce. Let's check on our meat. So our meat is pretty much done. All we have to do is coat it with some sauce here, and I took a cup of the sauce that we made, and I'm going to pour it on top of the meat. And then I'm going to take a brush. I have a barbecue brush that I'm going to use. If you do not have a barbecue brush, that's fine. You could just use a spoon to rub in, or spread the sauce onto the meat, or a knife. Whatever you have, whatever works for you will be fine. So there we go. I'm just slathering that sauce on those ribs. The next step, I'm going to place it back in the oven for a couple more minutes uncovered, and this was my outcome. It was delicious, and I still had sauce left over, and I served a cup of sauce on the side of these ribs so people can dip it if that wasn't enough sauce on the ribs. And that's it. I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are on your mobile device, please log on your desktop so you can subscribe from there. And don't forget, folks, you can also come communicate with me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you all for watching.